Hey, it's another Feel Good Friday. Are you so pumped it's Friday? I'm pumped it's Friday. All right, so I've got a question for you. Have you ever looked back on your week, right, feeling completely exhausted, yet wondering where all your time and energy went? Like, all the things that you had intended to get done, or, all the things you wanted to be able to show at the end of your week, it's not there. It didn't happen. All right, because here's the thing. When you wear a bunch of different hats like me, right, there's always a lot to get done. There's always someone or something kind of calling out, looking for your attention, right? Because you're a mom, you're a busy woman, you're leading a successful career, you're an entrepreneur, you've got all the things. I get it. But I've got some important questions to ask you. Hopefully it's going to help you self-reflect a little bit and think about how you're actually allocating and spending your time. All right, so here we go. So are you spending more time thinking about doing the thing versus actually doing it, right? It almost, this question reminds me of like my kids when I tell them to go up and brush their teeth, right? It's like they hem and haw, they're like, they like argue with me for 10 minutes about, wanting, just to have a couple more minutes to like, let me just finish watching the show on Netflix, or, let me just finish up this game, or I'm finishing up this bracelet I'm making, right? And we go back and forth. And I'm like, in the time that you spent arguing with me about brushing your teeth, you could have been up, brushed your teeth, and back down doing the thing that you say you want to do, right? Well, the same is true with us, right? How often do you just sit there and you're thinking about like, oh my gosh, like that project or that chore or making that phone call, like it is nagging at you. You have to do it and you just keep pretending that you don't. If you just went and got it done, wouldn't you feel so much better? Yeah. All right, another question. Are you allocating your time towards the wrong things, right? So, your time needs to go towards your priorities. I call these like your must-dos, the things you have to get done. Almost if you were to think about this backwards, like at the end of your day or the end of your week, like what are the things that you're going to be the most upset about, like if they don't get done, right? Or what are the things that you're going to regret not doing, or being upset with yourself for not better managing your time if they don't get done? Well, so think about what's most important to you and make sure that's getting done first. And it might be your children and family, it might be, making this advancement in your career, or, putting time towards an important relationship in your life, right? All of these things are super, super important, and they're all important to me too. But I am definitely somebody that always, tells people like how important my health is. And the reason why I would say that's my number one is just because I know that when I'm taking really good care of me, physically and emotionally, I'm giving my best self then to all the other things in my life, all the other people, important people in my life, right? And so here's a little story where, as much as I would tell people, like, I'm all about my health, not too long ago, 2.5, 3 years ago, when I was tracking my steps, I started paying really close attention to this, right? There were days when I didn't get a workout in where my total steps for the day would be about 3,000 steps, right? For the day. And that would be like a good day, right? And I'm like, that's embarrassing. But it was also because I had planned to always do my workout like when I got home and when everything else was taken care of. That was kind of like my thought process, right? Except that there would be days that I would work late unexpectedly, or I'd have to go and, do the late pickup at dance, or, their homework took a little bit longer than I thought it would, all just regular routine things, right? And so, and sometimes it was just like, I just don't really feel like doing a big workout at this point. Like, I've just done my day, I'm tired, I just don't have anything left in the tank, right? So it wouldn't get done. And then I just had to look myself in the mirror, right? And say, I got to find a different approach to this. And so once I moved my workout to the beginning of my day, there is rarely a day it doesn't get done. I mean, rarely. And I feel so much better, right? And I really feel like I'm prioritizing my health. So that's an example of that. Are you giving more time to do something than the task actually requires? This is a big one, right? Because if you plan an hour to do something, you're going to take the full hour, right? Sometimes you might even take more than the hour, even though it doesn't really require an hour's worth of your time. And think about too, a lot of times we have this big project or something we want to finally sit down and do, right? It's a common internal dialogue. So you clear your day. You're like, oh, this Saturday, I've got nothing going on. This is going to be great. I'm going to do this thing that's so important to me. You give yourself the whole day, and so you end up taking the whole day, even though it should really only take you like a couple of hours. But because you've got the whole day, as you're going about your pursuit of this task and little distractions come up, you actually give your attention to the distractions because you're like, oh, it's not a big deal. I've got the whole day. But giving your time to these distractions actually slows your momentum. It breaks up your flow. All right. And here's the last, but I'm telling you, it is probably the most important one, is are you negotiating with yourself around things that you want to do against the things that you know you need to do? If I had a nickel for every time a client tells me the story of how they had this intention to get this thing done, and then a very enticing invitation comes around, right? And so what they do is they change up their plan with the intention, I'm just going to double up or make up for it at some point in the future. And at the time, because they really want to do or be able to, whatever, have the thing, they make this negotiation that sounds good in the moment because it gives them what they want in the moment, delaying the task or activity or the discipline that they know they need to be taking care of in the moment. And so here's a really good strategy if you have these types of dialogues with yourself, right? It's like, oh, I really want to have this extra little bit of dessert, because when's the next time I'm ever going to get to have cheesecake, right? So I'm going to have it now and then I'm going to do the extra workout tomorrow. Or, oh, I know I really should be working on, this business plan that I'm writing, but my girlfriend called and she wants to go grab a drink and I haven't talked to her in so long. So it's fine. I'll get up earlier tomorrow and I'll get that writing done that I need to get done, right? Here's the thing. If you really want to go have the drinks with your girlfriend, right? I want you to tell yourself, all right, I really do want to go and meet her for a drink. So instead of meeting at 6, I'm going to see, can we move it to 6:30? And I'm going to get laser focused for a half an hour and get as much of this business plan written as I possibly can. And my reward is I'm going out with my girlfriend, right? Do the thing up front that you need to get done and then go and have your fun. Because we need fun and I want you to have fun. It's not a sacrifice of fun to do the thing. It's just figuring out the strategy to get what you say is important to you done. All right, so it's all about feeling good. Hope this helped you. See you next week.